I'm Cher, the Shadow Walker, and I'm taking a look at cryptid sightings across Canada and the United States, starting with Prince Edward Islands. So the first one is in Goose River slash the Greenwich region, and it was at 1:45 on April 7th. Two people, a large black jet canine described as the size of a yearling calf, was seen pacing a field perimeter. The witness reported burning eye shine and a heavy, silent gait. The creature disappeared into the salt marsh when the high beams lights were engaged on it, and they reported it to the local hellhound file. And in the Greenwich area, same area, the national park border, that's a beautiful area. At 10:30 p.m. on April 5th, three people reported a high-pitched whistles that shifted into sounds mimicking a human voice in distress. The sounds moved rapidly through the woodline, maintaining a consistent volume as if the source was moving at a high speed while projecting. And it's on the PEI Community Sightings Board. In New Brunswick, in Irishtown near Shediac, at 9:45 on April 6th, two people, husband and wife, while traveling a secondary road, the couple witnessed a massive, dark figure cross the road in three silent strides. It stopped at the tree line and looked back. The wife specifically reported a dull orange eye shine before the creature moved into the deep brush, and they reported it to the Atlantic Cryptid Research. And in the Kingston Peninsula, near Route 845, at 3:30 a.m. on April 7th, this is a commercial driver, an upright canine figure, approximately 7 feet tall with a thick mane and pointed ears, was spotted standing motionless near the woodline. It did not approach, but watched the vehicle pass, and they reported it to the local regional Atlantic sightings. And there was a hellhound in the Sunbury County area, 2:15 p.m. on April 6th, and this is one person, a security guard, reported a jet black massive dog with glowing eyes pacing the perimeter of a fence lot. It made no sound and appeared to slip out of sight when the second security light was activated, and it was flagged on the hellhound files. So in Nova Scotia, on Highway 8, 20 minutes from Kejimkujik National Park, at 10:45 on April 6th, two people, they were commuters. What they saw was a large, hairy figure was spotted standing on the shoulder of Highway 8. As the car approached, the creature turned its torso towards the vehicle, exhibiting orange eye reflective. Then it stepped over the guardrail and descended into the ravine towards Mercy River area. That was right near me. It's probably the same Bigfoot, or maybe the male. I seen the female. And they reported it to the Atlantic Digital Scanner. And in Cape Breton Highlands, near Wreck Cove, at 1:15 on April 7th, and it says it's a security personnel, reported a canine-headed humanoid moving rapidly on all fours before ascending to a bipedal stance to enter a tree line. The witness noted a deep, vibrating growl just before the sighting, and they reported it to the Nova Scotia Dogman file. And a Mothman in Meat Cove near Cape Breton Highlands at 11:30 p.m. on April 6th, one person reported a large dark-winged figure perched on a cliff edge. The witness described glowing red eyes that were visible even from the distance. The figure reportedly took flight silently and banked towards the water, and they reported it to the Atlantic Cryptid Community Log. And in the Bridgewater area, Lunenburg County, I like that area, at 2:50 on April 7th, that's a.m., and this is a late night shift worker, maybe working at the tire plant there, a massive jet black dog with bright eyes was seen crossing a residential yard towards a woodline. It made no sound and left no tracks despite the damp ground conditions. And that's it for Nova Scotia. In Newfoundland, hellhound in the Avalon area near Coley's Point and Bay Roberts in the Avalon Peninsula at 11:15 p.m. On April 6th, two local residents reported a massive jet black canine standing motionless on the coastal trail. The witness noted the creature had eyes that caught the light like ambers and stood approximately the height of a large pony. It remained silent as the witness backed away, eventually dissolving into the tide, the fog of the tide as it came in. Doesn't that sound kind of cool? And a Bigfoot in Grossmoor National Park in the Long Range Mountains area at 8:30 p.m. on April the 6th. One person, a backcountry camper, or a hiker, they don't really specify. A witness reported a heavy bipedal footfall circling their campsite just after dusk. No visual confirmation, but the camper described a series of wood knocks and two distinct loud cracks against the trees, followed by a deep chest vibrating huff. Large non-human footprints were found in the soft muskeg following morning, though they were distorted by the rain, and they reported it to the Regional Wildlife Observation. And I've often wondered, like after I seen mine, which was several years ago now, in Nova Scotia, the governments have to know that they're there. And my goal is because I want them to be protected, because, we need this stuff done because people are seeing these things and people aren't crazy. So the government has to get with the program and stop lying to people. They are there. So in Maine, in the past 48 hours, some of them I stretched to 72 because to get a better view of things. So on Route 137 corridor at 9:20 on April 5th, a motorist, just one person by themselves, a tall, hairy figure estimated between 7 and 8 feet, crossed the road in front of the vehicle. The witness stopped to investigate and reported hearing heavy branches breaking and a rhythmic thumping deep in the woods, though the creature was no longer visible, and they reported it to the Maine Cryptid Research. And a dog man in Somerset County, and this was at 7:15, so the twilight time, on April 6th, and this was a landowner, just the one person. While on their property, the witness heard aggressive howling from the tree line. They reported a creature that looked like a wolf with an unnatural heavy build standing in the shadows. The witness's dog reacted with extreme fear. The creature eventually moved back into the brush on all fours, but with a distinct shoulder roll, typical of bipedal canines, and they reported it to the regional paranormal log. And a hellhound in New Hampshire, just at the border, at 3:40 a.m. on April 7th, two utility workers, a massive jet black canine was seen standing in the middle of a service road. The witnesses noted the creature did not move when they flashed their high beams. Instead, it stood and stared at the truck and shone its reddish eyes before silently slipping into the darkness. And they reported it to the utility dispatch for an internal safety report, and they flagged it on the Hellhound file. And that is it for those areas. I thank you so much for listening. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm hoping to do a live at one point with people. And I'd love to have some people that have had encounters to come up and talk. If you don't feel comfortable putting your name out there, you don't want your face shown, that's fine. That can be done. That's normal. I didn't really talk about it when I seen them. So thank you for listening and have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.